Hey, this is Alexis Gumapas from Bit by Bit Code here to teach you week 2 of our advanced web development course. Today we will be creating a pet shelter website that has multiple pages that you can navigate to. It includes an about, pets, adopt, and FAQ section. So let's get started. Begin by opening a new project in code.org's web lab. Let's rename it Find Your forever friend. Okay, now let's begin. So under our HTML, we'll put lang equals en. Then in our header, we will do meta char set equals UTF minus 8. And then I forgot the tag, greater than, and then close the tag. Close the tag. Now, and I forgot now let's do meta name equals viewport, and then close the tag, and then we'll give it a title equals title, and then adopt a friend, and then end the title tag. Now let's end the header, and then let's start with our body. So in our body, we will give it a division class. So wrapper equals wrapper, and then close the tag, and then let's begin doing our navigation, which will include our 5 different HTML pages. So nav class equals main dash nav, and then let's start our list, so ul, and then let's do our individual list items, so li, and then let's do a href equals, and then let's reference our different HTML pages, so index.html, and then that will be our home page, so home, and then end the tag, and then end the list, and then let's just copy this line, and then we can paste it so that we can make our individual list items. So let's do 5 of those, and then let's do our about, and then we'll do pets, and that will be pets.html, and then we will have a contact.html, and that will be contact, and then our FAQ, and then let's rename the HTML to FAQ. So then we can end the bulleted list, and then we can end our navigation tag. So now let's refresh to see our navigation bar. Okay, so that looks good. And now let's do our header. So let's do header class equals hero, and then let's do h1, and let's give it a name. So I'm gonna do find your forever friend, but you can do whatever you want to title your animal shelter. Find your forever friend, and then I'm going to end the header. Now I'll give it a tagline, so p class equals tagline, and then our tagline will be every paw deserves a loving home, and then let's end our p tag. Oh, and then I forgot to, okay, so now let's end our header, and then we can do a little intro to our page. So let's do another section. So section class equals oh, whoops, I forgot the less than symbol. Class equals intro. And let's do our intro. So we'll do a paragraph, and then we'll do welcome to find your forever friend, a digital adoption center where you can meet adorable pets looking for their forever homes. Ready to adopt joy? And then question mark, and then let's end the paragraph tag, and then end the section. So let's refresh to see our new changes. So now you can see our header, tagline, and our little intro. So now let's just finish off with a footer. So footer p, and then let's get our copyright symbol. So I'm just going to copy and paste it from our original page. So copyright 2025, find your forever friend, adopt happiness today, and then end the paragraph tag, and then end the footer, footer, and then end the div. Okay, and so let's refresh, and now you see our footer. And so we are done with our homepage. Now let's move on and add another HTML to start our about page. So add HTML, and let's rename it to about.html, and let's begin. So I'm first going to copy the same header from the index.html. So I'm going to copy and paste this section from here, and then I'm going to just put it in our headers, just so that we don't have to type all this extra stuff. Oh, and I think that I forgot I also forgot to add one more thing in here. So click enter, and then do content equals width, which equals device minus width initial scale equals 1.0. And then I'm just going to copy this so that it'll be easier, and paste that here. Oops. Okay, there we go. And now let's start with our about HTML. So let's first do our same navigation. So I'm also going to copy our just initial nav from here from line 12 to 21, and I'm going to put that in our body. So I'll just copy that just so that it'll be easier. And now let's do the sort of info in our about page. So let's do section class equals about, and then let's do h2, and then we'll do about find your forever friend, and then end the header tag. Okay, now let's do a paragraph to say what we're about. So paragraph, paragraph, we're a youth led organization dedicated to helping local animals find their forever families. What started as a school project turned into a passion for rescue and adoption. And then end the paragraph. Oops, I keep doing that. End the paragraph. And then let's end the section. Okay, so let's refresh. And there we go. We can see our about section. And now let's just do the same footer as our in our index HTML. So let's just copy this and then do this. And so now we have our copyright footer. So now let's do our next page, which will be our pets page. So let's add another HTML and then let's rename it pets.html. And then I am going to also copy the same head as our index.html and our about.html. So I'm going to just copy and paste that into our head section. And now I'm also going to copy the navigation bar in our thing. So let's do that. And there we go. And now let's do our pet section. So let's do section and then we'll give it the class menu and then close the tag, and then we'll do h2, and this will be where they can meet the pets. So our header will be meet the pets and then end the h2 tag. And now let's give it a division. Class equals menu dash grid, close the tag, and then let's also give it the card. So let's give it a class which is card. And then we'll start with our images. So I'm going to go into our images, and I'm just going to find 3 pet images that we can use for our thing. So I will just do cute dog images. And now I'm just gonna do whatever I find. I'm gonna do maybe this one. So I'll do copy image. Oops, I'll do actually save image. And then I'll just do dog 1. And then let me find another dog. I'll do maybe this one. So save image, and then I'll save it as dog 2. And then our last dog, we can do maybe this one. And then I'll save it as dog 3. Oops. Save image as dog 3. Okay. So now I'm going to add those images into our assets. So I'm going to upload all 3 of them. So I'll do dog 1 JPEG. And then I'll just upload all 3 of our dog images. So dog 2. And lastly, dog 3. Where is our dog? Let me see. Oh, I'll just drag it from here, maybe. Dog3.web. It will not let me upload it. Dog 3. Dog 3. Dog 3. Okay. I'm just gonna choose a different image. And I'll just choose maybe this one. So I'll just save this one as dog 4, as dog 3 is not working. Okay, so I'll do So now let's do dog 4. Okay, there we go. Now we have our 3 dog images. Uh-oh. It will not let me upload that one either. Okay, so all right, this will be dog 5. Okay, let's see if dog 5 will do us justice. Dog 5. Okay, there we go. We now actually have our 3 dog images that we can add into our pet section. So I'm going to do our image source, and that will be pet dog1.jpg, and I'm going to do alt, which will be, so this will just like give it a title for if the image is not working, and that will be pet1. And then I'm going to give it a name. So I'll do the name maybe Luna, but you could choose whatever name you'd like. And then I will do a price, so span class equals price. And since this is actually just an adoption center, it won't be a price, and instead it will be more info about the dog. So our dog 1 looks like, I don't know what dog that is, but I'll say that it's 3 years old and very energetic. So whoops, and then let's do 3 years old and energetic and playful. And so then I will end the span. Let's refresh. Oh, so this is the image, but it's super big. So we kind of need to we need to go into our, but you could go into our CSS and size the image down, but we'll do that later. So you can see the name of the dog and its age and stuff. So now let's do our dog number 2. So let's do div. Oh, let's also end the div on this one too. And then we could just copy this same format for our 2 other dogs. So let's do this. And then I'm going to do reference dog2 JPEG, and then the alt will be pet2, and then I'll give it the name. Let's see her. I'll give it the name Gina. So Gina. And then it looks a bit older, so I'll say she's 6 years old, and then I'll say that she is super cute and cuddly. And then let's do dog5.jpg. So dog 5, and then this will be just dog pet3, and then we'll give it the name. Let's see our name. I'll give it the name Charlie. And then he will be 4 years old, and he'll be fun. And let me see, what's another adjective? Fun and bubbly. So I'll do bubbly. And there we go. Now we have finished our section. And so now I'm just going to copy and paste the same footer from our index.html and our about.html. So let me just end the div and end the section. And then let's just go and copy and paste the footer from the index.html. You can also just see our 3 different pets. And so let's go start with our footer. We'll end with our footer. So just copy, and then I'll paste it at the end of our body. And there we go. Now we can see our pets section, and now we can finish with our last two HTML pages. So I will do our adopt and FAQ section. Okay, so now let's do our contact section. So let's add another HTML, and I will rename it contact.html. And now in our header, we'll just copy the same header that we have been doing. So I'll copy this and then add it into our header. And then I will also copy our navigation bar as always. So right here. And then I will copy and paste our navigation bar. And now let's add another section for our our contact. Oh, whoops, I forgot so section class equals contact, and then close the tag, and then our header will be h2, and then it will be adopt a friend, and then end the tag, close it. And then now let's make a text box for our name. So input type will be text, and then and then close the quote, and then it will be our ID will be pet, and this will be a required box, and then the label will be a message, and this will be asking why the user would like to adopt a pet. So let's end the label. Then we'll just make sure that the text area for the message is a bit larger. So text area ID for the message, and we'll give it 4 rows. So rows equals 4. And then we'll also make this box required. And then let's end the tag. So end text area. Oops, and then I forgot to do the lesson symbol. Okay, and then now let's give it a button. So button, and this will be our submit button. And then we'll give it the class button. And then this will be the text on the button, and then let's close the tag. And then we'll close the form. Oops, I forgot to add the actual form tag, so I'll do that in the beginning. And then I will end the section. And then lastly, let's just add our same footer. So I'll just go into our any of the sections, and then I'll copy this, and then I will add our footer. And so you can see our contact section and our our name and stuff. And so oops, I think, what did I do? Oh, so this one should be in the tag, and then there we go. So let's refresh and see. Okay, so now the box is empty, and we have it required to submit. Okay, so now let's do our FAQ section. So let's add another FAQ and rename it. Add another HTML. So let's rename it FAQ. And then let's copy in our header in our FAQ. And then we will also copy in our navigation bar. So let's copy that into our body. And now that we have our navigation bar, let's add another section for our FAQ. So section class equals FAQ, and then close the tag, and then we'll give it the header FAQ, and then end the tag, and then let's give it the individual question. So details, and the summary will be the question. So summary, our question will be, where do the pets come from? And then this will end the summary or the question. And then we will elaborate as our answer in the details. So we'll put a paragraph. Our pets are rescued from local shelters and foster homes. And then let's end the paragraph, and then end the details. And then we'll do the same process for the other two questions. So let's do another tag, details, and then summary. Is there an adoption fee? And then end the tag, and then we'll do a another paragraph. Yes, the small fee helps cover vaccination and care supplies. And then let's end the paragraph, and then end the summary. End the details. And then we will do this one more time. So details, summary, and our question will be, can I meet the pets before adopting? And then let's end the summary, and then we'll start a new paragraph. So our answer will be absolutely. We can arrange a virtual or in-person meet and greet. And then end the paragraph, and then end the details for the answer. And then we'll just end the section, and then we can just add our same footer that has been in our all our other HTML pages. So now we have all 5 of our HTML pages. So now we can just style everything in CSS to make our web page look way better. Finally, let's go into CSS to style our web page. So let's go into our CSS, and I'm gonna just delete everything. And then I will start with making the root colors of our website. So colon root, and then curly bracket, and we'll do -- primary, and our primary color will be hashtag FCD34D, and then semicolon, and then we'll do our accent color -- accent colon, and then our accent color will be F59 E0B, semicolon, and then our background light color, so -- light, and the color will be hashtag FFF8DC, semicolon, and then our background dark, colon, and the color will be 1F2937, semicolon, and then our text light, so text - light, colon, and then the color will be hashtag 111827, semicolon, and then we'll do our dark text, so text - dark, colon, and the color will be FEFCE8, semicolon, and then we'll do our highlight color, and that will be hashtag FACC15, and then lastly we will do our card dash radius, and that will be 12 pixels. And then do our semicolon, and so now we defined our root color. So now let's do the body of our web page. So our font family, and we actually have to first reference this in our index. So you can go into Google Fonts to find a font, but we will be using Quicksand. So search fonts, and then we will go to Quicksand, and then we can click Get Font, get the embed code, and then I'm going to just copy this into our index HTML, just so that we can reference this in our website. So now I am going to go into the CSS and do font dash family, and it will be Quicksand. And so now it has changed the font for our home, but we actually have to copy this into our other web pages so that it also affects the thing. So now I will add it into the FAQ, and lastly our pet section. So now if we refresh, now the font is in the pets, home, about, and all of our pages. So now let's continue with stylizing. So I'll do sans serif, and then I'll give it, oops, I also forgot our semicolon, and then give it a margin of 0, and then I'll give it a background color, and this will var, and I will do reference our root, so dash background dash light, and then semicolon, and then we'll do our color, and that will also var, and then it will be dash text dash light, and then semicolon, and then we'll also give it a transition, and the background will be 0.3 seconds, and the color will also be 0.3 seconds, and then semicolon. And now let's do our wrapper. So dot wrapper, curly bracket, and the max width will be 960 pixels, semicolon. Our margin will also be 0, and that will be auto, semicolon, and then give it a padding of 1 rem. Okay, now let's see. All right, and now let's do our theme switch. So dot theme dash switch, curly bracket, and then the position will stay fixed. The top will be 1 rem. Right will also be 1 rem. The font dash size will be 1.5 rem. And our cursor will be pointer. Now let's style our site header. So dot site dash header, curly bracket, text align will be center, and then our background color will vary. So colon var, and then dash primary, semicolon, and then we'll give it some padding, colon 2 rem, 1 rem, semicolon. Position is relative position. Let me just do a bunch of enters so you can see better. So position, colon, relative, semicolon, border dash bottom will be 4 pixels, and solid var, and that will be our accent color. And then let's do that. And now let's style our header. So dot hero h1 will be curly bracket, and then margin is 0, and our font dash size is 3 rem. And now let's style our tagline. So dot tagline, font dash size is 1.2 rem. Oops. And our font weight will be 400. Font weight 400. Now let's style our navigation so it's horizontal. So dot hamburger, curly bracket, position will be it is absolute, and then the left is 1 rem, top 1 rem, font size will be 1.8 rem, 1.8 rem, our cursor is pointer, and the display will be none. Okay, so now let's style the list to actually make it horizontal. So dot main this one is missing the closing curly bracket. Okay, so now we can just delete this one. Okay, so dot main dash nav a. Oops, our text decoration is none. Text decoration none, semicolon, color var, in parentheses text text light, semicolon, and then our font weight will be bold. And then let's do our individual sections. So let's reference all of them. So dot about, comma, dot menu, comma, dot contact, comma, dot FAQ, and then curly bracket, margin is 2 rem, 2 rem 0, and then padding left will be 1 rem, and border dash left is 4 pixels solid var, and then dash accent. Now let's do our menu. Let's customize our menu grid for the cards. So let's do dot menu dash grid, curly bracket, and then we'll make our display be grid, semicolon, and then we'll do our grid template. So grid dash template dash columns, colon, repeat, and in parentheses auto dash fit, comma, min max 200 px, comma, 1 fr, and then semicolon, and then let's give it a gap of 1.5 rem, and do the margin dash top is also 1 rem. And then so this will be seen in our pet section, so it will be making the card view, which you can now see the images sort of overlap. And then so now let's continue with our cards. So let's give it a background color, and we'll do a white background. So let's do dot card, curly bracket, background is hashtag FFF, semicolon, and then let's give it a border dash radius, and then that will var, and that will be our card dash radius. semicolon, and then let's give it a box shadow so that it looks more 3D. So box dash shadow colon 0 px 4 px 10 px, and then RGBA 0,0,0,0.1, and then do a semicolon, and then text dash align, and we'll make it centered. So center, semicolon, and then give it some padding of 1 rem, and then do a transition, and that will be transform of 0.2s. There we go. And then now let's do let's allow the card to transform when you hover upon it. As you can see, when you do whatchamacallit, so it gets greater, like gets bigger when you hover on it. So let's do dot card, and then colon hover, curly bracket, and then it will transform by a scale of 1.05. So scale, and then in parentheses 1.05, and then 1.05, and then semicolon. And then let's customize the card image so that it doesn't like go over our so it doesn't go like make the whole card humongous. So let's do dot card image, and then curly bracket, width is 100%, and then the border radius var, and then dash dash card dash radius. I meant actually var here. Okay, and then this needs to be a colon and then a semicolon. And so now we can also customize our card header. So dot card h3, curly bracket, and give it a margin of 0.5 rem, and then 0.5 rem, and then 0, and then semicolon, and then let's customize the price or the sort of info about the dog. So dot price, curly bracket, and then the color will vary and be the accent color. So dash dash accent, accent, and then semicolon, and then the font weight will be bold. And then let's customize our form, and we can sort of refresh to see. Here is our here's our 3 different pets. So let's customize our form. So let's do input, comma, text area, text area. Width will be 100%. 100%. Padding will be 0.6 rem. Our margin bottom will be margin bottom is 1 rem. Our border will be 2 pixels, solid, and then let's give it the color #CCC, and then let's give it a border radius of 6 pixels, and then do the font family, which will be inherit, and then transition is going to be border dash color 0.2s, and then semicolon. And so let's view our contact page, and so now it's more formatted. And so then let's start customizing our button to send the form. So let's go back into our CSS, and then let's let's change it so that when you focus on it, the color changes. So input focus text area focus. Text area focus, and then curly bracket border dash color var, and that will be our dash dash accent, and then semicolon, and then outline will be none. So there we go. And now let's customize our button now. So dot button, and our background color will be our accent color, so background dash color, and then that will be our var accent color, accent. So there we go, you see it changed. And then let's give the text color to be white, and then let's do some padding. So padding will be 0.6 rem, and then 1.2 rem. Oops, I forgot. There we go. And then now let's give it a border. Let's give it no border, and then let's give it a border radius of 6 pixels to round it out, and then do the cursor, which will be pointer. And then let's change it so that when you hover on the button, it makes it a darker color. So dot button, hover, and then curly bracket, and the background color will change to hashtag D97706 semicolon. So you can see it changes to a slightly darker color when you hover on it. Okay, and so now let's customize our FAQ section. So let's do actually I'll just go into the FAQ so that you can see. Actually, I can't wait. I don't think that we we didn't add our font into the contact HTML, which is why it does not have the same font. So I'm just going to quickly copy that in so that it looks much better. So I'm going to copy this in and then refresh. And now you can see it's the same font for the contact section. And then now I'm going to go into the FAQ section so that we can see it customize. Okay, so now I can customize the details. So details, curly bracket, background is hashtag F9, F9, and then our margin will be 1 rem and 0, and then our padding will be 1 rem, and then our border left will be 4 pixels, solid var, and then it will be our accent color, and then we'll give it a border radius so that the corners are rounded out, and that will be 4 pixels. Now we can customize the summary so that the questions on our FAQ will be bolded, and you can just sort of help differentiate the answers better from the questions. So let's do summary. Oh, and I forgot a semicolon here. So let's do summary, curly bracket, and then font dash weight, colon, bold, semicolon, cursor, colon, pointer. And so now the questions are nice and bolded. And then we can work on our footer. So footer, curly bracket, text dash align, and center. And then I'll give a padding of 1 rem. And then I'll do the background, and that will vary, and it'll be our primary color. And then the text color will be hashtag 333. Okay, and so now we have our lovely footer, and now we can customize our mobile navigation. So at media, and then in parentheses, max dash width is 640 pixels, and then we'll do our curly bracket, enter dot and then dot main dash nav ul, and then curly bracket, and I forgot I did a I instead of the dash. So then we'll do flex dash direction, and that will be a column, and then semicolon, and then the background will var, and it will be our primary color. And then the padding will be 1 rem, and then the display is none. And whoops, I need to fix this. Semicolon, and our display is none. Oh. So it sort of disappears when you are in this mobile view, but when you increase the size of your screen, you can see the rest of the navigation. And one problem I see is that the navigation bar is still on that sort of horizontal bulleted list, which is not what we would like. So I think that there is a mistake in the code. So I'm going to look back and try to find where we made that mistake. Okay, so I actually found the mistake. I forgot to I looked at the original source code, and I forgot to style the main nav list item so that I could make sure that the list style is none. And so now when we go back into our code, you can see that our navigation is nice and horizontal. So we have finished our webpage, and congrats for making your multi-page website. Have a good day.